Hello and welcome to another episode of Fox's Friday. We are on the 9th of February 2024 and I am going to kick off with the January transfer window, or shall I say what very little happened in the January transfer window. Obviously we let Iverson go out on loan. We also recalled Luke Thomas from Sheffield United and then sent him back out on loan to Middlesbrough. We tried to get a deadline day deal done for Sensi from Inter Milan, but that broke down even though he flew over to East Midlands Airport, did his medical at the training ground at Seagrave, and then there was a disagreement with the loan negotiation with Inter, so that didn't go over the line. So we're a bit light in midfield with Ndidi out for a little bit longer. Trying to think, did we do anything else? Any more business? Any more loans I can think of? None spring to mind. So yeah, it was a bit uneventful, but I guess the positives we can bring from that are we didn't sell any of our big players. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall was linked with a move away to the Premier League with interest from a couple of clubs. I think Brighton being the key one, but I think we're asking for too much. I know that we were asking for over £30 million, and I don't think anyone's going to pay that because, in my opinion, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's the obsession with overrating English players, and that's been the case for quite a few years now. Which isn't a bad thing because I guess we can always, if we do sell him, he's going to go for a higher amount than say a Spanish player who's with the exact same ability as Dewsbury Hall. But he's shown his class in the Championship, and I think he does need to prove himself in the Premier League still. And I think he'll be a useful player next season, and obviously for the rest of this season. So that was a positive at least. I will move on to looking at the players who are out of contract in the summer. So we have obviously Callum Doyle will likely be going back to Man City from the loan. He's been pretty good, but I guess we could sign him on a permanent, but I don't see the point when we've got Christensen, who's out on loan at Bologna, and then we've got Luke Thomas as well, who's on loan at Middlesbrough, as previously mentioned. So we'll get both of them back on the left-hand side, and I think they both can do a job. Michael Brighton is obviously running out of contract as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he signs an extension. I don't think he will, because I know that he had an Instagram story during the January transfer window about him looking forward to a new challenge. So I don't know if something didn't get over the line in January for him to move. Maybe Enzo Maresca decided that we do need him as cover for the large amount of fixtures that we do have for the remainder of the season and how congested Championship sort of calendars can be. So I definitely think he'll move on, maybe to another Championship side or something like that. He's definitely got the quality to play in the Championship. So we've moving on. We've got Yannick Vestergaard, whose contract runs out in the summer. I mean, he could definitely get taken by someone on a free. I could see him going abroad. To be honest, he's been in the Prem around the he's been in England for a while. Obviously at Southampton and ourselves. But I think he has proven he is pretty good. Yes, he's slow, but I think with the support of maybe a couple of faster defenders either side of him, I think he will do a job in the Prem. So hopefully we sign him on like another 2-year deal or something. And then we've got Dennis Pratt. He will very likely leave. I don't see he's been one of those who has always been rumoured to leave literally every transfer window and never has left, either because of injury problems or deals breaking down. So I definitely see him leaving on a free in the summer. And then we've obviously got a big one, Jamie Vardy's contract is running out. I can see him signing another year, and I think they're just going to keep him on as long as possible. I mean, if he can still, play, I don't know, like 45, 30 minutes, come on, make an impact, which he usually does, especially against Stoke when he came on and scored a brace, I think he'll definitely be useful still into next season. And then we've got Wilfred Ndidi, another big one. He's been with us a good 7 years. Obviously, he's injured at the moment, but he's definitely got Premier League quality. I know that he was rumoured to nearly go to Arsenal a few years back. So I think he'll definitely do a job, whether it be in that more advanced role where Enzo has decided to play him this season, or more of a holding midfield role where he's previously played. Then we've got Iheanacho. I can see him leaving, especially with the signing of Tom Cannon. Yeah, I don't see why they'd renew both Vardy and Iheanacho. I mean, ideally we'd renew him and then sell him, so we'd actually get some money for him. But I can definitely see him leaving in the summer. Unfortunately, definitely a fan favourite, but I think he's just too inconsistent. And then moving on, we've got the other two loanies, so Younes Akgun, he's been pretty good. A live wire in midfield, especially more in recent weeks. He's scored a few goals and looked pretty good on the ball, and he's very fast. So it would be nice to maybe sign him on a permanent, but I don't know if that's definitely like a priority. And then lastly, we have Fatawu, who I think there's been a couple of posts on social media about him from Leicester, and I don't know if that's because he's going to get signed on a permanent. Hopefully he does, because I don't want us missing out on another quality winger like we did with Ademola Lookman, who left at Atalanta, and he's tearing up the Serie A and he's doing really well. So hopefully we do sign Fatawu, because he looks probably the most promising out of all the loan signings, but we'll just have to wait and see. Then moving on to the recent results. Obviously, I think I was recording the last one before the Coventry game, and I think I predicted that we'd win 2 or 3-1, and we lost 3-1. Obviously, we got a red card, so that changed the game a lot, but that was a disappointing result on the M69 derby. And then we played Ipswich at home, drew 1-1, so can't really complain with that. And then we had Swansea at home and won 3-1, which was a good result. And then we've had the most recent game, which was Stoke away on Saturday, where we won 5-0 and absolutely dominated them, and probably was our best performance of the season so far, other than the Southampton game where we won 4-1. So yeah, really positive. We haven't had it other than the Coventry game, but obviously with the circumstances, with the red card and being away at a decent Coventry side who are in form, wasn't too bad. We've done well everywhere else. And moving on to the fixtures, we've got Watford away this Saturday, which I think will actually be quite a tough game, because they have picked up. I think they were the bottom half of the table when we last played them early on in the season, and it was a narrow win. But yeah, I think it'll be more of a challenge, but I can see it. I can see us getting the 3 points. And then we've got a midweek game against Sheffield Wednesday. I'm pretty sure I said we'd batter them last time we played them. I don't know if we drew or won narrowly. I can't remember exactly. We might have drew, to be fair. I can't remember. But yeah, I think we'll probably batter them at the King Power. And then we've got Middlesbrough at home. That's going to be a really tough game. Obviously, we lost to them 1-0 earlier on in the season. And then we've got the big game, Leeds away, which is a big 6-pointer in the promotion race. I think take a draw there. Obviously, we lost to them at home. So if we manage to get anything from that, it would be a positive, just to slow them down and keep our points ticking along. And then we've got QPR at home, Sunderland away, and then Hull away. So I think we'd definitely beat QPR at home. Sunderland away will be tough because they played pretty well against us when we played them at home. And then Hull away, obviously we also lost to Hull 1-0 very early on in the season. So Hull away is another tough game. So yeah, we have got some tough games coming up, some easy games as well. But I think, say, out of all those fixtures, if we try and keep it down to like one loss and maybe one or two draws and the rest wins, I think we'll be looking good. And then obviously we've got the Southampton game at home on the 16th of March, so that's the big one. But I'll likely do a Foxes Friday before then, so we can discuss that a bit more then. So yeah. And then the one last thing I would like to mention is that obviously Maresca made some comments about fans being disappointed with the style of play. I don't know how there's any Leicester fans complaining at the minute. We're top of the league. We're clear by decent amount. Like, we can afford like another 4 losses. I think 3 or 4 losses until the end of the season, and still get automatic promotion. So I don't know why fans are complaining. Yes, it can be boring at times when they're passing it sideways and backwards around the defence, but the key sort of philosophy behind it is keeping the ball on one area of the pitch, dragging the opposition into our half, and then spraying it forward either to the wing or into passing play down through the middle, whether it be through Ricardo or Winks, and then to sort of pounce once the opposition has been brought out of position and basically baited out. You also see that a lot of our goals come in the early stage of the second half, maybe because the opposition are a bit unorganised, just coming in from half time and they're not quite at it. And but another thing could be fatigue. We could have like worn them out passing it around in the first half, and I find we do sort of like raise it up a gear second half of games, so that's really good to see. And I don't know why you can be complaining. Yes, it'd be nice to see a bit more free flowing football, but it's working. Will it work in the Premier League? That's another question to definitely discuss towards the end of the season. But I think just from at this point we can't be moaning. We've lost very little games this season. What is it? Is it 4 or 5 games? And if we saw that, at the beginning of the season, and looking at where we are now, we'd like feel really lucky that we even got to this point so early, and we're on to obviously get the points record in the Championship and beat Reading's previous record. So that'd be nice. But if we don't, we don't. All we really should be bothered about is finishing first or second and getting automatic promotion, which I think we'll definitely do, and I think we'll win the league as well. We've just obviously got to keep teams like Southampton, Leeds and Ipswich at bay by hopefully not dropping too many points, especially when we play them. Obviously we've played Ipswich twice, but we've still got Leeds and Southampton to play, so we definitely need to not lose those games and keep winning all of our other games. But yeah, it's looking good. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover, so I'll be back in another month's time to discuss what's gone on in the past month, and hopefully we're still top of the table with a good 6 points minimum clear of second, and even further clear of third, and we've got nothing to worry about. But yeah, we'll see. Alright, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave comments of your thoughts, and I'll be back in a month. See ya.